What is up, guys? Andrew here, and welcome to Comicbooker, all things comics from a creator. I'm very rusty at doing these live streams, and now that I've woken up early enough and have a little bit of time, and I have been doing a lot of catch-up work on these Aquaman episodes I'm working on for DC. I figured I'd try streaming it this morning, this Christmas Eve morning. Um, I doubt anyone's gonna come on the stream this early, but um, I figured to get some work done and post something to YouTube because I have not YouTubed in a long time. So yeah, welcome to Draw with Me. This is a live stream style where basically I'm just gonna work, and if anyone comes on and comments, I'm gonna respond to comments. But otherwise, it's gonna be kind of a chill um, experience. I'm gonna play some music. There we go. And yeah, if you are watching this later, or if you find me somehow, feel free to draw along. Right now, I am inking this panel of Aquaman, which is from my last episode of Aquaman for the season. This is Aquaman Yoho Hold On to Your Hook, a webtoon style vertical webcomic on DC Universe Infinite. And particularly for this episode, I'm doing artist homages. So this is an homage to the first Aquaman artist, Paul Norris, and that's why I have Paul Norris's sort of art over here. I'm doing a thing. If you'll notice that the style is like a little rough and tumble, that's sort of deliberate. I noticed that in these old newspaper comics, because they were, printed on newsprint or some very bad paper, you would get a lot of this sort of melting effect here, where the ink lines, even though they're probably super crisp when they were made, because the printing technology couldn't handle it very well, the ink would bleed into the paper and cause this sort of like melty look. And so I'm kind of doing that, but I'm sort of making it even more pronounced just for the sake of effect. You'll see here in the first page, which I did. Let me take the tone out. You'll see this is Jackson's inks, which are finer and more crisp, and you'll see that the classic Aquaman look is a lot rougher and a lot crazier. And obviously, as we get into the fight, I lean into that roughness, and that's kind of where I am. Yeah, this is really fun because I have often been very filled with anxiety about making my lines really clean, and doing an artist homage like this, where it's supposed to look like, printing at the dawn of time, means that I can actually go a little rougher than I usually do, and that's a lot of fun. It feels a lot more freeing. Oh, whoa, someone's on the stream. Hello, MZRI4N. Mr. Ian? He says, "Hi man, I'm from Pakistan. Hope you're doing good. Wish you best of luck with your comic making career." Thank you so much, Ian. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming on the stream. yeah, this year has been really and truly crazy. Um, I feel like, this I've been sort of like trying to work in comics professionally for 3 years now. I feel like this is the year where things really started heating up a little bit. And I'm so excited. I'm still like an up and coming creator. I don't think I'm very well known yet. However, I'm getting more and more work, which is good. And I hope one day to be able to do this full time. So slowly and surely. Yeah, the reason I'm working on this so early in the morning is because I have a day job and I have to go to work. So I'm literally streaming this in the spare hour I have before I have to run into the city to go to my day job. So yeah, it is currently 7 a.m. here in New York City. And well, 6:56. And yeah, at 8 I just have to hop out the door and get my work in. Although it's kind of chill at work right now because it's Christmas Eve here in New York, and tomorrow's Christmas Day, and so it's like a national holiday. And so it's gonna be really quiet in the office. A lot of people are out on vacation, which is, most offices. So it's not gonna be too crazy. I just wanna make sure I get a lot of good work done. Cause just gotta make sure things run while I'm out on vacation. And then tomorrow, Christmas Day, is gonna be fun. I'm gonna spend some time with family. And obviously still try to get some inking in. The deadline for this is like roughly 2 weeks per episode. So it's really tight, and I can't go as in I guess I can't take as much time as I might want to. But that's also part of the charm of the comics medium, you know what I mean? Like learning how to work with deadlines, learning how to simplify your style just so it would work really well with the restrictions and parameters. Well, despite everything, it should still read, the story should be told, all that stuff. And I'm getting a lot of support. My writer on this is Josh Trujillo, longtime veteran writer at DC Comics and Marvel, and a bunch of indie other stuff and video games and so much. Josh is amazing. We've been working together for, I would say, 3 years now, on and off various small projects. This is probably the biggest project we've ever worked on together. I've been doing a lot of design work for this series, and it has been, just a blast. If you've never heard of this before, this is Aquaman Yo Ho Hold Onto Your Hook. It is a pirate Aquaman story set in its own pirate universe. And it comes out weekly on DC Universe Infinite, which is super fun. We get to do basically a huge tour of our pirate DC universe and meet all sorts of familiar characters, but in pirate form. And our main cast is Jackson Hyde, Aquaman, along with his partner Hawea, and classic 1960s DC character Dolphin. It's a cool cast. They've all got interesting powers, secrets, and I got to design them, and it's so much fun to just see them butt heads with like more well-known names like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, Superman, and Brainiac, Psycho Pirate, and all these other characters. I'm a huge DC geek, and so this is just a huge dream for me to be able to do something like this, and I just hope I do it justice, because, you know, the legacy of creators that have worked on these is insane. It's truly insane. And they've been very formative to me. I just want to do it justice. Alright, so we're sort of on our way. I need to ink Jackson in a different style, so we're gonna go with... Where is that? Here we go. Indigo. That's the... That's the brush I use for Jackson. Just gotta make sure the anatomy works well. Deltoid, tricep, bicep, elbow. Ooh, okay. His aqua tattoos. Or his skin icons, I think they're called. Let's get his face in. Whoop, too much. Something like that. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Whew. I have to remind myself not to like over obsess when the head is that small. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's gonna be this small when it's printed, so. That's a problem with digital. Sometimes you can like over OCD on a really small part that's never gonna be actually super visible to the reader. There we go. Okay. Whew. love that I'm at the point where I've more or less memorized the costume details of Jackson and our main cast because I've drawn them so much over the course of the series. So I don't really need reference for this part. And you can really see here the contrast between the inking styles. Just to give you kind of a sense of them both being from different worlds. Well, different times, really. Same world, different time. It's as if a different artist drew it. I think I meant to do some water effects here, so actually we're gonna do that. And the colorist, Big Door Studio, has been doing a really good job of making the water effects and special effects and stuff sing. So all I have to do is just give them enough so they can do their magic when they come to colors. Oh, this is Novice77 on the stream. Hello. He's asking, did you get the iPad Pro OLED after returning it? Yes. You're seeing what you're seeing right now is the M5 iPad Pro. It took me a whole year and a half, but I saved up since that last video. I can't believe it's been a year and a half. And I ended up buying this one. So I finally upgraded. Which is why you can see I have Apple Pencil Hover here. I don't know if you can see. There, you can see the cursor kind of moving around on the screen. Yeah, that's before it draws. Finally upgraded. I love it. Review coming soon. It's just been a very busy year, but I'm very, very happy. Because it is definitely a good piece of gear. And it's really funny because for the first half of the year I was drawing this Aquaman series on the M1 iPad Pro, which was doing pretty well for it. And then like halfway through the year actually not towards the end of the year, really, when the new iPad released, I then switched over to the M5, which is what I'm using right now, and it's been great. I just love it. I think Hover is such a major quality of life improvement, which obviously if you're thinking of an iPad and you want Hover, you don't need you don't need the iPad Pro. You can go for the M2 iPad Air just to get Hover. But I really think that Hover thing has been like a major deal for me. It's really helped me with all these weird inking things that I've been doing, like right now, just to kind of see the cursor before it lands. Andy Wound Subraxus. Hey, good morning, Andy. Andy says, just came across your channel. Glad I'm seeing it live, bud. Cheers. 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 Happy holidays. Thank you for popping by. Oh boy, this foot is looking really jacked. I gotta Oh, that's okay. That looks good. And now that I'm seeing how this pose is going, I honestly think it'll be better if this leg like extends down. So I'm just gonna change the plan. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Alright. I think better with some spot blacks, really. So let's just throw that in there. There we go. Alright, let's get that hand and that sword in. So Jackson's shtick is he has water swords. And he actually has like water control, kind of like Mera. And so I've had a lot of fun sort of drawing these water cutlasses. They make some really good, they can give you some really good organic movement through the page. And there's some really fun tricks you can do with the swords just because they're, you know, so malleable. Use Quickline for that. So like this, I'm gonna do this. Erase in and use the sword to kind of create this arc to imply like the motion of the sword. And I can just have a trail of water kind of denote where it went. There we go. Andy says, don't mean to take over the chat, but any thoughts on Samsung tabs? I have no opinion. I haven't used them. The last time I used a Samsung device for drawing, I had a Samsung Galaxy Note. That was eons ago. That was like BC, before COVID. So, like, I'm sure the technology is way better now. One thing I'll note about the Samsung stuff, my understanding was when they were first getting into the digitizer game, they bought a controlling stake in Wacom, which is the, you know, Japanese brand of like EMR styluses, like the Cintiqs and the Intuoses and stuff like that. So they could use that same technology both in their phones and in their tablets. So I believe the current Samsung tabs are still using Wacom tech, and if so, they're probably amazing for drawing. My only caveat with Samsung is the Android ecosystem, right? And so it's down to software more than hardware, which worries me. So I don't know how. I live in Procreate. I'm drawing in Procreate right now, and this is like an iPad OS only app, and I don't know if Android has a good analog for this, right? I mean, they probably do. Like Clip Studio Paint, which is another program I like to use. I know they have an Android version, so that's at least one app you can use. But yeah, I would say do your research first. Obviously, everyone has their preferences in terms of their OSs and the brands they like to use. But I ever since I jumped onto drawing on the iPad, I've basically like switched over fully to Apple. I'm on the iPhone now. I'm on a MacBook instead of a Windows machine. That took a while to save up for a MacBook. And I switched it all over because it's just more seamless. And it's down to like I like the drawing experience on iPad, and that's my main joy. So I've gone full Apple despite me not necessarily being in love with the other stuff, right? So yeah, I've heard really good reviews about the latest Samsung Galaxy Tab thing. One person I would look at is you probably know this person already, Brad Colbo. He does a lot of the major reviews of drawing tech on YouTube. Someone I've followed for years, and basically pretty much reviews everything. So he has a list on his website where he ranks the various like tablets and pen displays that have been released throughout the year. And I always look at that whenever I'm like starting to think of like, oh, okay, purchasing decision. What do I do? I mean, obviously, I'm drawing on an iPad, but I hear that new Cintiq 24 is pretty good too. If you just want like a pen display to hook up with a Mac or a Windows PC or Linux or whatever. Alright, Jackson's done. So, okay, wait, no. I need that tattoo in. There we go. This hand is looking somewhat flat, so I'm just gonna do that. Alright. Now the zombie. So let's switch back to... What was it I was using? Nightjar. Let's get that zombie in. I mean, his head's a bit big. We should... Whoops. This could be much smaller. There we go. we go. Okay. All right. Woo, we're in business. This panel shaping up. I just need to kind of see this leg through. There we go. Okay. That, and then I think, what do you think? Maybe let's get the background in. There we go. Dennis Ryan says, poor misunderstood zombie. He's not trying to kill anyone, just wants to high five. Hey Dennis, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for popping by. Yeah, this Dennis this zombie this zombie wants to high five with his big crazy claws, you know. Yeah, I'm happy because I was talking to the writer Josh Trujillo, and we made a bit of an edit to the scene, because initially the scene did not have zombies in it, and we talked it over, and you know, one of the things I was thinking about was like how it's cool to it's cool with zombies because you can really go crazy with the, you know, the gore and stuff, and it's not too, it doesn't feel too, I guess, splatterpunky or whatever. And the thing with these pirate characters is they're always carrying swords, and so they're, you know, they have deadly chopping weapons, but because it's a young adult book, you know, you don't want to overdo the, you know, the gore and stuff, and so you rarely actually get to see severed limbs and you know, heads or any of that other stuff. But here with zombies, we can do it. We can definitely do it, and have all this like splattery purple blood and whatever. Yeah, one of the perks of the Living Dead is they're great for like ragdoll situations. And so yeah, this is the moment when I'm indulging in a lot of chopping. Should probably have like, I don't know if it's gonna fit. No, it's probably not gonna fit. I think at this juncture, I'm gonna err on cleanliness, because I could definitely pile in a couple of more zombies back there, but yeah, I think it reads very well at this point, and I think the story is king, so we're just gonna leave that as that. Alright, so we're kinda halfway done through the page. This panel is this panel is where we meet our big bad for the season, Triton, who major Aquaman character from the 80s that we've revamped for this very moment. It's after something called the hallowed hook, which is what I'm drawing at the moment. There we go. There we go. It's a very complicated looking hook, but it's also a holy relic with like untold, unspeakable power and all this other stuff. So, you know, is what it is. Then let's draw Triton. Dennis says, "Good morning, love your content, been sub for ages, first time catching a live stream." Gosh, good morning. And I'm a little shocked, honestly, because it is very early. It's 7:30 a.m. here in New York, and I did not expect anyone to be on. But like, you know, I'm grateful. Thank you for popping by. Usually, when I'm able to do live streams, they're like in the evenings or in the late afternoons, and they're usually like weekends or weeknights. So this is really weird for me, but it's been a really busy year, and I've had a lot of trouble finding time to consistently upload to YouTube. So this morning I figured, you know, what the heck, let's just try to go for a live stream, whether someone can make it or not. So here I am, and here you are, so thank you. Yeah, I honestly wish like I'd had more bandwidth to upload videos this year, because so much happened. I have so many stories to tell, and I want to share them all, but you know, juggling that with my day job plus like you know, doing more and more work for DC, it's been hard to sort of manage all of that. But anyway, I'm gonna endeavor to try to upload more next year. I think I have some strategies I can use in terms of like my time management and stuff. So yeah, fingers crossed, I get into a good groove. I really think it's down to like time management and like getting into good rhythm with the life. So, and yeah, I just haven't. This is starting to get a little big. Honestly, this should be a lot smaller. Let's go smaller. Bloop. There we go. Time management should getting to a good rhythm with your life is like, I think, the trick to doing like a bunch of stuff. And obviously there's the argument to be made I'm doing too much stuff, and you know, maybe I am, but it's all good stuff, so I can't resist right now, and just gotta see it all through. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna try to do more live streams next year, more videos. I have a whole video about like Aquaman in particular that I've been meaning to upload. So just because like this is being my first DC series, there's so much cool stuff to share. You know, about how we conceived this, how we put everything together, like the behind the scenes stuff, and also just how I'm like managing the schedule, the workload, even though I'm not like a full-time comics creator. So I just feel like there's a lot there worth sharing, stuff that I would wanna hear from other creators. So yeah. So fingers crossed I can get that out in January. I just need to like really get through this because it's my last episode of this weekly series, and I want to do a bang up job. There we go. Yeah, so this is Triton. He is the biggest bad of the series. Dennis Ryan's asking, congrats on the DC gig. Who's the writer? The writer is my longtime collaborator, Josh Trujillo, who, I guess, what's he done recently? He did the big, wonderful Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle run that's set in Palmera City. We did a revamp of Bunker together. Bunker's this fledgling Teen Titans character that we love, created in like part of the New 52 stuff, and we did like a revamp of him. Yeah, Josh has also done a bunch of Marvel stuff, Wiccan and Hulkling, and I think he recently did a Gambit. What if Gambit became the Herald of Galactus series, which was really cool. Like I think it was a one shot, but it was really awesome. Yeah, and this series, Aquaman Yoho Hold Onto Your Hook, is available to read on DC Universe Infinite, their online comics platform. I think the first 8 episodes are free to read, and the rest are you need a subscription. But we have like 21 episodes out right now there, so the whole thing is like really robust. So if you want to dive in, there's a lot to read. This is episode 23 that I'm working on right now, and this is set to release in a couple of weeks. I think 2 weeks. So so I really have to get this done. Alright, there's Triton for you. And I'm trying to get this ink spatter stuff in because I think it's really cool, but also I'm trying to mimic some of that cloud work there, but emphasize the sort of distressed nature of it. Again, like this sequence is like a tribute to Paul Norris, the first Aquaman artist. And right after this scene, I think we go to the far future, and I do a tribute to the painter Alex Ross. So it's gonna be a really cool like shift in styles. Like really, this is like really inky and graphic, and then I'm gonna move to like something that's really painterly. Which people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually have a painting certificate. I've done a lot of oil painting, and I still think it's one of the most relaxing things you can do as an artist. And so it's nice to be able to do like a little bit of painting for this Aquaman series. There we go. All right. Perf. Okay. All right, this is good. And then we're gonna move on to the last panel of the page. Ooh, how much time do I have left? Why is the time on my iPad weird? 9:41 there. It's 7:37 a.m. All right, wait. Give me a sec. I gotta mute, and I'm gonna grab more coffee. All right, we're back. Dennis Ryan says, "Love the inky splatter brush. Do you design your own custom brushes for Procreate?" Not yet. I have been playing around with doing that, but for now, I've been using a lot of brushes that are default. Honestly, like, it's a really good time to be using Procreate because one of my favorite brush makers, Kyle T. Webster, just came on with them and basically released like 150 new brushes for Procreate, which is what I'm using right now. I'm using Nightjar, which is I think in the inks section, and my other favorite brush so far in this set is whatchamacallit, Indigo, which is in the comics folder. So yeah, I love Kyle's work. Been using his brushes for a bajillion years, like forever. Since the start of this channel, you'll actually, like, if you go back to my earliest videos, you'll hear me geeking out about his brushes. But yeah, I love them. And then hopefully one day I get to make my own brushes. I just want to make them really good when I finally do. I've done some experiments, but they don't quite get to the effect that I want. So, you know, when I'm ready, when I finally have like a custom brush that I like, I'll probably share it with you guys. Alright, here we go. There's Triton, our demigod of the ocean. Actually, let's make the hair just a little more. Just a little more hairy. Something like that. There we go. He's got Ice King vibes, honestly. Like, I didn't realize it when I designed it, but if you guys have watched Adventure Time. Okay. Alright, last panel. Last panel. So we're gonna switch to Indigo because, again, the inking styles are different for these people. Oh man, coffee's so good. Yeah, why is my time weird? Is it because I'm still on Philippine time? I might be. Yeah, I was in the Philippines recently, visiting family and stuff, and so still dealing with a bit of jet lag from that. On the upside, it's helped me wake up early and, do work, so can't super complain. Man, faces are so hard sometimes. The smallest changes can really drastically change the nature of the face. Trying to get this right, but it's tricky. Ooh, I have 15 minutes left before I have to run to work. See if I can get this figure done, at the very least. A little too high there. Something like that. Okay. And then something like this. All right. Boom. Ah, it's so tricky. All right. Yeah, I always like get very stressed. Well, not always, but sometimes get really stressed with the faces because that's really what people look at first. People look at the faces first and then the hands. So if you get those wrong, like your character's off, like it doesn't feel like them, it breaks people out of the story. So it's really important to get the faces right. I think that's reasonably it. That's what's bugging me. This chin is too square. Honestly, should have penciled this more tightly, but you know. Oh, we have to go at speed, so. There we go. Okay, that'll do. Oh, Panda Guinisod. Panda and Guinisod. Oh, am I saying your name right? I hope I am. Says, hey Andrew, drawing with you while I'm sick at home, Renee. Oh, Renee, hello. Welcome, welcome. Yes, please draw along. Renee is like one of my favorite people. Do you usually do the face head details before the rest of the figure? Yes. So, usually, because I think with a lot of like imaginative drawing, which is to say you're drawing out of your head, drawing out of your imagination, right? We have a tendency to work from the point of focus outward. So whatever is the point of focus in your panel, like obviously if it's a hand, that's what you're drawing first, or you know, but usually when it's a complex scene like this where a lot is happening, I zone in on the face first. Because really that's where the eye goes first, the face and then the hands, which is something I learned in painting class. You know, you look at the Renaissance masters and you know where they have these multi-figure compositions, or it's always like people look at the face first, and so if you can give it like a decent amount of attention, it really helps. Because honestly, like with comics, there's so much drawing that has to happen constantly that it's really hard to give everything, like every single thing that you're drawing, 100% of your time and effort and attention. And so since we have to like go through triage, it helps to really learn to give the most amount of time and effort onto the point of focus. And usually, again, that's the face or the head. But you'll see there's an underdrawing here, which, well, I don't know if it's very visible on this stream, honestly. There we go. You guys can see it better. So I do the underdrawing first, and that helps me get like the proportions and stuff well. And so when I'm doing like a full figure, I try not to futz with the head too much until I know that the size is correct, because you get that weird thing where, you know, you spend all this time, I'm sure, I don't know, it's happened to me a lot, so it's probably happened to you, where you spend all this time working out the face, and the head's too big or it's too small for the figure you're drawing. So and then like you have to resize it, or, you know, if you're doing it traditionally, then like it's just so much drama to like have to figure out, okay, do I make the body bigger now and all that stuff. So get your proportions right first, and then yeah, work from your point of focus outward. So okay. Whew. Merry Christmas, by the way. It's Christmas Eve tonight. I can't believe it. Renee says, OMG, I thought you were going straight to inks. Lol, didn't see the underdrawing. Yeah, sometimes the opacity isn't as clear when I'm streaming. The way streaming works too is it crunches down the bit rate, and so it loses a lot of subtle information sometimes. When it's like sending the I mean, it looks good to me on my screen, but when it sends it out to YouTube, like there's stuff that's lost. So I have to remember that you guys sometimes don't see the underdrawing. It looks like a magic trick. But no, this is a normal mortal drawing. I'm not Kim Jong-gi, as much as I'd like to be. And I did pre-draw reference for this, so and this is a long line, so I'm gonna do quick line. Ah, no. Alright, okay. That's done. How much time do I have left? I have 6 minutes left. Oh no! Alright, let's get this done. Ooh, I feel the crunch time. There we go. Okay. It's looking good. I feel good about this. Now just gotta get it over the line. Dennis says, "Lol, Renee and me both thinking you were some sort of comics prodigy, but it turns out you're only human like the rest of us." Yes, I am only human. Yeah, I really do wish I was like Kim Jung-gi. I've tried, man. I have tried. I don't know if you've tried to draw like that, where you try to like do a hyper complicated scene from imagination with all the details, and it's just like my brain can't hold all that detail. Like, it's really hard to choreograph something like that. It's a lot of practice. I do think it's achievable though. I'm an eternal optimist, so I have a hope that I can reach Yoongi levels before I disappear from this earth. So we'll see. We'll find an opportunity to like draw like that. But yeah, notice how I finished the face and then like everything else was so much faster. Well, the face and the hands. The hands were also a little bit time consuming. Get that down. Like just a little spot blacks there to denote the form and like a little bit of anatomy. Maybe a bit more on this side because it's in the middle and it's near the back, so get these spot blacks in. Should anchor things a little bit. Boom. Ah! Wait, I think I need a new layer for this one. There we go. No, it looks horrible. Wait, okay, there. Better. Okay. Oh, it's a bit of a weird tangent though. I'm gonna see if I can scooch it over. There we go. Or honestly, like just a little bit more this way. Something like that. There we go. Yeah, you don't want too many tangents in the work. It just flattens the image. Makes it look, it just kind of ruins the reality, so. Well, let's see. Where do I put that? I'll just keep it as swordy for this one. Swordy sword. It's my unofficial name for Aquaman's water cutlasses. Swordy swords. Alright, I think I can merge this down. Merge down. I can mess with the... thing now. Boom. All right. All right. I have to go to work. I just want to finish this. I'm gonna finish this last. I'm just gonna do this cape. Sorry, not cape. This coat. I think it does this, like that, like that, like that. Boom. And then this one. Gosh, why did I make this so complicated? Okay. Okay, I think I have to stop. I have to stop! There we go. Okay, that's the foot. And we're just gonna pinky toe over there. Alright. Okay, so that's the panel done. That's what it looks like without the pencils. Very clean. And then we have the rest of this, which is, you know, mostly rough and tumble, which is super fun. But yeah, we are on our way to finishing, but I gotta be on my way now to work. So let me check the chat really quick. Merry Christmas, say delighted, say hi. Wish you continued growth success in the coming year. I'm excited to follow your journey. Truly hope you can make this your full-time thing someday soon. Thank you, Dennis. I really appreciate it. Power Games, yo, hello. Thank you for being on the stream. Yeah, and everyone who's here, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a lovely Christmas holiday and a holiday season. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa. And yeah, I gotta head off to my day job now. But I love you all, and hopefully gonna stream some more soon. Blessings be upon you. May you be inspired. Peace.